Welcome to Cosmic Wisdom. If eyes are the physical extension of the brain, then intuition is the energetical extension of the heart, and it acts as a whisper of our souls. Intuition is the silent language that leads us towards abundance. There are many feelings we cannot describe in words or to understand them in our minds with our thoughts, so we don't know what they mean to us. If we cannot understand our feelings touching our hearts, we cannot be guided by them. Evolution made the human mind very complex, and our feelings are very complicated to understand. For this reason, we have a very vivid imagination that helps us translate our indescribable feelings into a spoken language, making it easier for us to understand and follow them. I see imagination as a translator of our feelings and emotions into a spoken language. We can use the power of visualization for our purposes of manifestation. So, if we are able to imagine or visualize it, we can more easily think about it and create it. How to support our imagination? By being more creative. I talked about these processes in my 2 previous videos, so for a full understanding of this concept, I invite you to watch my videos on imagination and instinct. The link is in the description. Time is constantly changing, because it is constantly moving forward. If it doesn't change and things remain the same, we are talking about stagnant processes because we are going against the natural flow of evolution moving forward. Also, our ability to survive and live life happily is constantly changing. That is the ability to adapt. Our instinct and intuition adapt naturally and subconsciously, but we are not aware of these processes until we become conscious or aware of our thoughts, emotions and feelings and the actions that we take. As a result of that, we should be able to act more responsibly when we are aware that we can feel when we do something wrong or when we do something and it just doesn't feel right. So it is not helping us in our evolvement. That means we are not moving forward in our lives. This could be understood, for example, as suffering. If we look at suffering differently, not as a pain, but as a lesson to learn from, then suffering can be a good indicator on our paths to evolvement, success and pursuit of happiness. The deeper we are, the closer we get to our instinct, intuition and awareness should help us in such sense. So awareness with imagination are the biggest contributors to attracting what we want. Awareness as the power of the current moment. Whether we are conscious and aware of what we feel and do, or we are not, makes that difference between attracting what we want and attracting what we don't want. Everything we have is a matter of attraction, and worrying, for example, is praying for something we don't want to attract into our lives, but it comes as a confirmation of the way how we feel. So, if we feel anxious, we will attract situations that make us feel the same way. It has to be so. This way the universe and its energies are making sure we get what we wish for. The universe doesn't want the best for us because it doesn't judge. It doesn't have favorite souls either. That is a nonsense. But it will give us what best suits our evolvement based on what we feel and how we act. Because our feelings are energies through which we connect consciously and unconsciously with the universe energies. We are connected with the universe through feelings, and for some people who feel, for example, angry or worried, this may sound unjust and unfair, because they mostly attract situations making them even more angry or worried. If we are not aware of our feelings, which are trying to tell us that what we do may be wrong, we cannot create the future we want, because we are less of a creator and more of a follower. So, we could become unconscious followers of negative thoughts leading us down on a path where we cannot grow on physical, mental or even spiritual level. In other words, if we cannot control our emotions, we could unconsciously become victims of our realities, leading us astray, and taking us away from our purpose. So we could end up in stagnant processes because we are not moving forward. Simply we could feel like we are lost. So much is at stake. Your better life is in the game, but it's waiting for you to act, so it is worth not being scared of the unknown and taking that big step forward to a better future. For this reason, we must be more conscious, present and aware if we want to follow our intuition to experience happiness. There is a sense of hierarchy to living, and if we don't know how to survive on a material level as physical human beings, then it's hard for us to find a path to happiness, because we need to follow the universal rules of awareness that even the universe itself must follow. Happiness is abundance, unconditional love, or anything that gives you a sense and worth living for, and that actually could be your car, job, or the house where you live with your family. All this comes from money, so even money is happiness, because at its core it's pure energy called abundance, manifested on a piece of paper called money, which we can buy stuff for. Money is a physical matter, and our instinct is linked to physical world, because instinct helps us to survive. When we are able to survive and maintain our life well on a material level, then we can find a way to experience happiness, and intuition residing in our hearts is the feeling helping us in such ways. We can only find a way to intuition when we feel calm in our minds and happy in our hearts about what we have achieved. That means we don't need to fight for our survival anymore, because we feel content, secure and safe. When your mind is calm, it opens another door to your heart where intuition resides. Imagine living in the wild. Listening to our inner voice, instinct and intuition would be easier as we would have fewer thoughts and better focus on what is important, so it would help us to survive. In modern society, survival is very different, but still uses the same instinct. Instinct is energy, and it has evolved naturally and subconsciously within our evolution, so we don't know about it unless we are aware of it. It is like a software update, but because our minds are overwhelmed with too many thoughts leading to worry, we are unable to listen to the silent voice called instinct. If we want to survive in society, we need to quieten our minds, release unnecessary thoughts and focus better on what is important, and awareness can help us focus better. This way we can have our emotions under control of our willpower, and not that emotions will be controlling us, making us weaker in decisions we take. So I say, to the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. This motto always helps me imagine the power of my mind. Overthinking. It consumes a lot of our daily energy, so we cannot think proactively and be more active because we are tired. Too much thinking creates tension and disrupts our focus. Instinct is linked to our focus. If we cannot focus, we cannot follow instinct. Thus, sometimes it takes courage to listen to instinct. But if we do so, it would tell us that we don't need to worry about things that don't matter much to us, and we should concentrate on things that matter. But this requires letting go of all unnecessary thoughts and more trusting ourselves, so it would direct us on a different path. How do we know what matters to us? It is a deeper feeling in us as our instinct and intuition, pushing us to make a change, but it really takes courage to make that change. Letting go or feeling detached is one of the most painful changes we can experience, but sometimes necessary to do if we want to make a change in our lives. For example, the feeling of trusting ourselves resides in our hearts and is linked to intuition. So intuition could even tell us that we should trust our instinct because it is trying to guide us. Try to calm your mind unforcefully and peacefully, so you have fewer thoughts and don't be afraid to make changes in your life. Just find courage, which is an instinctual feeling in your mind, and to trust more yourself, which is intuitive feeling in your heart, that you will succeed. This way the energies in you, as your thoughts, feelings and emotions, will create a symbiotic relationship and will activate your instinct and intuition to lead you toward your purpose. A symbiotic relationship is the kind of collective power. When energies connect, they create a powerful charge multiplied exponentially in an unlimited way. That's why when you have your emotions under control, you can achieve anything you want. When your mind is calm, so you have fewer thoughts, you have more energy to think proactively and you can focus better, because you are connected tighter to your instinct. When you listen to your instinct, it would tell you to worry less, concentrate on what really matters, and trust your intuition because it will never let you down. Intuitive feeling is what we want. It can help us to achieve unachievable, and then if we follow it, we can see miracles coming into our paths as new opportunities. And for this reason, our minds need to be calm to think more proactively, to be able to catch those new opportunities coming. Imagination is a major factor in terms of manifestation and attraction, because it acts as a translator, converter of our feelings we cannot describe into more understandable and explainable form, so we can even talk about them, not only in words but also with the actions we take. This means that we are able to create things just because we have a clear understanding of our deeper feelings. Instinct helps us with survival in modern society. So what else can instinct tell us? That we should be more noble-minded, proactive, acceptable and compassionate, that we should more listen, help and learn new things. When intuition activates its powers, it will let you know about that, so you will start feeling that there is something missing in your life. And that missing piece is more than a matter of survival. It is a matter of finding happiness and a sense of living. People sometimes ask me how to develop intuition, but I think it is more about developing connection with your intuition, as it is your prime energy directly connected to the universe in your heart. Just try to imagine the universal connection between your heart and the universe. Your imagination should be able to help you make such connection that you could even feel it as a warm feeling on your chest and in your heart literally. This is my personal experience when I'm meditating and visualizing my connection with the universe. Imagination is a very powerful tool indeed, but don't try to activate the connection to your intuition consciously by thinking about it, because you will be doing guesswork, and that is not intuition nor instinct. Intuition is that you know very clearly for your feelings in your heart, and you don't need to think about it whether your feeling is right or wrong, because you know that you can depend on it, basically by trusting yourself. Intuition goes beyond our physical world, and it can see the outcome before it even happens. And it tells you about it through your feelings, so sometimes you can have an intuitive feeling that good times are coming. So when you feel that good times are coming, no matter what the obstacles on material level are in your daily life, you don't need any logical explanation, you simply know. And you want to support the connection to your intuition by being thankful and grateful. Probably the first thing coming to your mind would be meditation, but it is not only doing that one thing. So you act as you always do for 23.5 hours a day, and then you would devote half an hour to your self-development through yoga or meditation. But it is not hard work either to develop the connection. How do we know we are not following our deeper feelings? Perhaps you do things only because you think you have to do them to be able to survive. For example, working in an environment where you don't fit in, and for the sake of paying your bills you work there. This only creates negative feelings and emotions, so you may end up with many unnecessary thoughts, making you feel worried. Worrying doesn't only create negative emotions but also limiting beliefs. But with the right approach, you should consider negativity as something good, because it tells you what is wrong. So I always try to use my negative emotions as guidance. I call it healthy negativity. To activate the connection to intuition is simpler than you think. You need to be more passionate and do things that give you joy, so you feel a sense you live life. Simply feel inspired by life. Life is energy. And energy is all of who you are, all your feelings, emotions, thoughts, and the actions you take. Whatever you do and it makes you truly happy in your heart is helping you build a connection with your intuition, so it is able to guide you better. When you do something you like, you feel joy, so you are inspired, and perhaps you have a hobby you would love doing, but you cannot do it because you work so much. Well, life is about balance. This means you would need to fit the balance between what you don't like doing, but you have to do it, and things you would love to do, but you think you cannot do it just because you don't have that time. When we do something and it has meaning for us, we don't mind doing it despite the odds and the obstacles. When we do something that gives us joy, we feel excited, passionate, and inspired by it, and this creates happiness, which is energy of abundance. When we feel abundant, we feel full of energy, we feel energized, and we feel that we can create anything. Energy in your heart is all about abundance. Do things that make you feel abundant, so you have an active connection to your intuition all the time. Just feel inspired by yourself. I'm hoping you liked my video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys.